creator of the boundless universe, looks down on all of us. We adults look at each other, and the children look up to all of us. Ask yourself, are you setting a positive example for them to prosper in this new world? The progress of a child depends primarily on the ability of the parents or educators to perceive the untapped resources of their children and to develop techniques of using these resources to the child's benefit. Unfortunately, because of the lack of application of a genuine culture that actually cultivates children towards a progressive future, we hardly ever acknowledge the tremendous potential in them, and we sometimes lack the capability to even bring forth their latent talents. As ironically as it may sound, many parents have systematically prevented the proper development of their children while trying so hard to develop them.
Welcome to Back to the Basics, where you learn facts, hope you embrace it. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. I'm fearless. Welcome to Back to the Basics, where you learn facts, hope you embrace it. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness.
Based on studies, we are all operating on a very small percentage of our true potential. If this is true, then we can conclude that we as parents impede the development of our children's potential, merely because we too have been hindered by our own upbringing. And as you may or may not know, children learn more so from your example than from what you say to them. The force behind every human action is its objective. To an extent, everybody knows what they truly want, and they act accordingly. But more frequently, most people are not aware of their objective. However, the consequences of one's action reveals their intention, whether they are aware of it or not. Take, for instance, a broken family, which is very common in the Western world. The estranged father and the bitter mother story, or vice versa, where one parent hinders the relationship between the child and the other parent. Now, it is morally right for the mother and the father to help foster an unbreakable bond regardless of separation. But too often, they don't. And since the child is usually brought up by one parent, it becomes apparent that the child will hold allegiance to that particular parent based on the dictates of the household they were brought up in. The force behind such parents' action is the intent of causing resentment between the child and the outside parent, which is awful, and yet it happens every day. And the parent who exercises this form of abuse of power to cause such a dismal situation amongst family oftentimes think they are justified. The point is, each individual has the power to move in any self-determined direction they choose. All their actions, qualities, and characteristics, as well as their emotions, can be understood by their reaction. But here lies the issue. A person or a child's reaction can be based on false assumptions about life, about others, and about themselves. And this is reflected through their actions. Thus, they won't be able to perceive reality as it is, only as they interpret it. How a child looks at life, at others, and themselves, and what they decide to do about it depends on their own private reasoning, which is an amalgamation of those they learn from. Asking a child why they do something wrong is useless. They don't really know. The trained educators, which are the parents, has to help them to understand themselves, their goals, and their private reasoning. The way most children are raised in a home or in school is to give them a completely crooked picture of what life can be like. They are taught to play it safe and avoid risks, to fit in and conform and be one more sheep in the herd. Their storehouse of information to make it in society is minuscule and even worse, not present at all. Our present method of raising children confronts them with a series of discouraging experiences. One parent may do for their child what the child can do for themselves by overly protecting and spoiling them. And the other parent's technique may be to harshly scold them and to pressure the child into submission. In either case, the child is deprived of the experience of their own strength. If our children are not presented with the real facts of their true potential, and instead suppressed with conformity in home or school, with intellectual creative poverty, they begin to understand why such a high percentage of their truest potential for achievement goes with them to the grave as they get older. We must stop raising our children in an atmosphere of passive submission and break the cycle. So save the children. for you were once one yourself. I'm Kev Ray, and this is Back to the Basic. Like, share, and subscribe. And hit that notification bell so that you can be benefited from these videos. Thank you.
Facts we stated, you wanna know something, go back to basics. Most saw trapping was called the Matrix. The world civilized, yet it's hard to face it. So I spread truth, hope you embrace it.